were to take a look at this particular angle, usually they have at least a few, this is, if you just looked at this ray, this would be ray BA, this would be ray BC. They share a common endpoint, which we called our vertex, right? Okay. Now, these rays will extend out in either direction forever and ever and ever. And we would classify this as being an acute angle. Right, if you know what a 90-degree angle looks like, it looks like the letter L, okay? So if you can kind of, from your, see where a right angle would be, definitely falls in between there, okay? Now, some of you have a protractor here today, okay? Not as big as this one. This one? It's not going to fit. This is the one I got. So as you take a look at your protractors, just take a peek at them real quick. And if you don't have one, maybe your partner has one or something. You can use the one I got up here, since it's big enough. I've got arrows all pointing to one area right down here. Some of you have like a hole, okay? That's where you'll put the vertex, okay? The bottom line of your angle will line up. If you have a hole, like Austin's here has this hole right in the middle. He's going to line up his vertex right in that hole, okay? He's also going to line up the bottom line of his angle either on this straight edge or on that straight edge. The other line of the angle will come and shoot up on one of these parts. Now, he doesn't have the two measurements, okay? But if you look at the example that I have up here, if I've got an angle and it comes through 60 or 120, how am I going to know which one to pick? Based on your definitions for today. A 60-degree angle would classify as what kind of an angle? Acute. 120 would classify as. So if you can tell the difference by looking at it before you even try to measure it, there's no way if I tried to get an idea of what this one is, it actually looks like it's either 60 or 120. Okay? There's some rustling back there. So would this be a 60 or a 120? 60, okay, because you told me ahead of time that it's already acute, okay? The other way to look at it is this. Since the arrow points out this way, if you have, raise your hand if your protractor has both measurements on it. Nice. Okay? Your bottom ray points out to 0. Since it's pointing out this way, I'm going to use where my 0 measurement is. I'm going to use these inside numbers, okay? If it were going out the other way, I would use the outside numbers because it always points out to the 0, okay? So if we take a look at how to draw an angle, you can use the bottom of your protractor as a straight edge. So let's see if you can draw a 70-degree angle. So here's what we're going to do. First thing you need to do is to draw a point, and using the bottom of your protractor, draw a straight line. Put an arrow at the end of it. First step. You like that? So once you have aligned your vertex on the protractor where it's supposed to be, and I've got it lined up, my bottom ray lined up on the bottom line, I know that 70 is going to be less than 90, so it's got to be somewhere in here. All I do is put myself a little mark there. Okay? Then I could take my protractor off and then use my straight edge, thank you, and draw that line straight, whoops, straight through there. See how nice and easy that is? Okay. So you use your protractor not only to measure, but also to use as straight edge. So to the page 380, they go through what the angles are: acute angle less than 90, right angle exactly 90, obtuse greater than 90 but less than 180, straight angle is 180. Lines that intersect to form right angles are called perpendicular lines. That little symbol that we use for the right angle is on the diagram that shows angle AED is a right angle, and that AB is perpendicular to CD. 380. Yes, Keith. No? So if I had a straight angle in there, that's 180 right here. What if I flip it upside down? Is that 180? No? So if you were on a skateboard here, and the skateboard was facing out this way, right? And you did a 180, wouldn't you do another complete 180? And okay, let's go back to this one. We have this angle here, and we've got some letters. Now, we talked yesterday how important it was to label segments, lines, rays correctly. When labeling angles, we use this angle symbol in the beginning. And I always have, if I'm going to use 3 letters, my middle letter always has to be my vertex. So I could label this angle as angle ABC, ABC, or I could label it as CBA. As long as the vertex was in the middle, I'm going to be okay. Sometimes you can get away with just labeling it by its vertex. You just call it angle B. That works if that's the only angle that's around. There's not a ton of other angles. There aren't other angles that are sprouting up from that particular vertex. You can just label it angle B. Sometimes. Very rare. You're looking at those as your primary options. Okay. So perpendicular lines, straight lines that cross, and then through their intersection make right angles. In fact, here, there's actually 4 right angles there. Okay. Your homework is going to revolve around measuring angles. So you'll need your protractor to do these. And if you look at 381, numbers 1 through 6, give it a shot. You got it.